IIM K BMS AT, which is the entrance exam for BMS program at IIM Kozhikode, is going to be conducted on 22nd of June 2025. We are coming up with a crash course wherein we will be covering the whole syllabus that is going to be asked in the exam. This crash course is going to have 30 sessions and each session will be delivered to you on this YouTube channel itself daily at 9 pm. After this crash course is done, we will be providing you with the workshops that will definitely help you train for the exam. As of now, we know that the exam is going to have only QA section and VA section. There is no LR section asked in the exam. But the paper pattern of the exam is not known. As soon as we come to know about the paper pattern, we will definitely deliver 3 to 5 mock tests to you guys as well. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel and inform your friends that this course has started and they can benefit from it. And now let us start learning.
Hey guys, welcome to the first session of vocabulary. Today we are going to take a look at some words and approach for building vocabulary. So today the target is to cover the words from word root A to F, and we are going to make sure that we are doing this via the word root approach. I would also talk about the memorization approach, which basically means that when we can't really study the etymology, then we should be going for a memorization approach, because there are some repeated questions in CAT based on vocabulary, and there are some words that are more frequently asked in MBA examinations than other words. So in case we don't know of the etymology, or in case the etymology is very complicated, we should go ahead and try to be just simple about it, and hence we'll be using the memorization approach for those kind of words. When we're talking about word root approach, word root has to basically be understood from the origin of the word and how other words of the similar word root family can correlate in terms of meaning with each other. So basically what we have to do is we have to try and understand what are the word roots, where they are coming from. So basically where they are coming from and the variations that we have of them in English language. So this is a very important aspect of understanding the word root approach. So these are some important word roots that we are going to take a look at. There is not a word root from F, but FID, having to do with fidelity, is one of the important word roots which we'll take a look at. So before we begin with the etymological approach, we have to first understand why do we have an etymological approach. Now, when we talk about etymology, it means the study, etymology means the study of origin of word roots. So this means that we are going to take a look at where the words in English come from. Now, as we know, English is a language that has come from England, and England is in Europe. So just as in India, we have Sanskrit as the mother language for majority of Indian languages. In Europe, you can say that such mother language is basically what? Latin. So when we have to speak about origin of European languages, mostly, of course, non-Nordic European languages, which mean that we are talking about English, French, Spanish, Italian, so on and so forth. Non-Nordic languages. they come from Latin. Okay, so there are a lot of similarities between them. Now, when we are trying to understand what exactly is an etymology for a particular word, you will see that there is either some kind of origin in Latin or in some of these languages, German included, or you'll see that the words could come from one of the many colonies that England had. Okay, English people were imperialist. So when we are talking about imperialist people, they went and made colonies in different countries, and there was some cultural exchange. Okay, it's not possible to rule a place, to be in a place for hundreds of years without some cultural exchange. For example, they have taken up quite a lot of words from Sanskrit or Hindi as well. Chitti, the word chitti comes from chit. Sorry, the word chitti in Hindi gives the word chit in English. Okay. Similarly, the words chadis have been included recently by Oxford Dictionary. This could also mean that since Hindi is fast becoming a kind of a language which is spoken by a lot of people in terms of numbers, and also since the Indian diaspora is moving out of the country and becoming very diverse, then you can say that the language is getting incorporated in major languages. For example, Chaddi is in Oxford Dictionary. Hence, we need to understand that there are two ways a language could get its words. One is from their mother language, which is the etymological part of it, and another is from memorization approach, or rather by direct incorporation from somewhere else. Okay, sometimes the etymological words change in meaning and change in their forms a lot. When this happens, we have to make sure that the forms that are prevalent today make some kind of, we have to make some kind of connection with the forms that are prevalent today. So we are going to take a look at both the approaches. Let's get started. The first approach that we are going to take a look at, and the most important part of this particular session, is that we are going to have a look at the important word roots from A to F. Okay. Now, for the purpose of these important word roots, we have to make sure that we are jotting down all the important words. I have given you the word roots on the slide along with their meaning. Okay. So whatever words I give you, aside from those, you can also think of certain other words that you want to incorporate or that you want to derive from these particular word roots. So the words from AB, ab, or abs, from or away from. This is the meaning of AB or ab. Ab s, okay, or AB or abs rather. The words could be abduct, abjure, abjure, abject, abrogate, abstain, abscond, abnormal. Okay, abject means to lead away. Abduct means to lead away. Abjure means to renounce. Abject means to degrade or something that is very low in level. So say something of the way you can say degraded, right? Abrogate means to abolish. Abstain, see again, abolish is also a word of similar category, abolish. Abstain means to keep away from. Abscond means to run away. And abnormal means something that is away from normal. Okay. So in all of these words, you can see the meaning of AB or ABS. Absent is also another word. Okay. So you can see that there is some resonance of from or away from in all these words. Okay. Next, let's talk about AD, AC, AF, AG, AN, AP, AR, AS, or AT. All these words basically mean what? To or forward. What are the words? Adit. A-D-I-T. Quite an unusual word. Adit means entrance. Okay. Adjure, admit, accord, accretion, accrue, affliction, aggregation, annexation, apparition, arraignment, assumption, attendance, right? So these are all the words from this. Let's go through the list once again. Adit, adjure, admit, accord, accretion, accrue means to add or to collect, affliction means some kind of distress or some kind of unease, aggregation, collection, apparition is ghost, arraignment, indictment, assumption, arrogance, so on and so forth. When we talk about ambi or amphi, we have come across a lot of words beginning from ambi or amphi. The words could be the words mean both, which means that either we are talking about two categories of something, two sides of something, sides or categories, right? Or something that is two. Okay. So what are the words that we can take a look at? Ambidextrous. Now, the reason why I'm looking at this word is that, see, if we take a look at this particular word, there is ambi, then there is dexter and OUS. Okay, so let's go to the black screen for a minute to understand how a word functions. Okay, the structure of a word can be divided into three parts. Most words have prefix, word root, and suffix. Okay, when we talk about a prefix is something that comes before the word root and significantly alters the meaning of the word. A suffix is basically something that comes after the word root and helps us manage the grammatical context and gives us variety of words which have almost similar meaning. For example, we can say feminism. Ism is the suffix. So this is basically, ism means what? The belief or the movement. Okay, belief or movement. Okay, feminism. Another word that we can see from here is feminist. It means somebody who believes in this belief or the movement. All right. So these are the suffixes. Prefixes alter significantly the meaning of the word. Word root is where the meaning actually lies. And suffixes are basically those words, those grouping of letters rather, which help us manage the grammatical form of the word and the variety. Okay, so this is what the structure of a word looks like. However, sometimes one of these could be missing, or sometimes there could be multiple suffixes, prefixes, or word roots in a particular word in any combination. Okay, so it could be prefix plus word root plus word root plus suffix, prefix, double word root and suffixes, or prefix, word root, suffix plus suffix. So any type of combination is possible. So we just need to understand what is the prefix and what is the suffix and just try and segregate it as far as our knowledge goes. Okay. If you are able to identify the word root or the word roots, in many cases, you are going to be able to tackle everything. So here, when we say ambi, dexterous, when we take a look at ambi, dexterous, we can say ambi is one word root. Dexter is one word root, and OUS is the suffix. OUS gives quality of being this, whatever comes before it, okay, to whatever we are using this word for. MB means both. Now the word root for Dexter, Dex means right, okay, as in right side. Now your right hand is usually much more capable, or you can say something like specialist, not a specialist per se, but you can say something that is very practiced and well versed. So if you say something with respect to Dexter, it means that it is something like the right hand, which means something that is very easy for you, or something that you are very good at. Okay, the word that we can see here is dexterity, the ability of being a specialist, or the ability of being very proficient in something, right? So ambi, dexterous can be that particular word, where we are basically looking at two word roots, and then OUS is the quality. Okay, now the opposite of dexterous is gauche, which means left. Okay, this is in Latin, this means left, and in English there is one particular word, gauche, that means inept. Okay, because it is left hand, majority people were not left-handed people back then, and therefore use of left hand is a little bit awkward or inept. So this is what we are looking at. So this is the kind of approach that we have to take for almost all the words. So now I'm going to give you a list of all these word roots, words from all these word roots, and we are going to take a look at some questions. In the next session, we are going to have a rather expansive approach towards the questions, and we are going to take a look at fewer number of words. But for the beginning, we are going to take a look at the words and how they can be divided. So when I'm telling you certain words from certain word roots, all I want you to do is basically make sure that you are able to identify the element of the word root in them. Okay, an or a. What do we have in an or a? An or a means without. So the words are agnostic, amorphous, amoral, without morals. Okay, anarchy, anemia, apathy, or typical. Okay, something that is without any type, or something that is not typical. Next word is ante, antecedent, could also be synonym of precedent. All right, antecedent, precedent. Next, you can say that we have antediluvian, this has to do with a biblical war, biblical flood, and therefore when we say something is antediluvian, we mean to say that it is very, very old or ancient, very ancient. Okay, next word is antenuptial. Antenuptial is something like prenuptial agreements that we have today. Antenuptial, before marriage, before nuptials. Nuptials is basically tying of the knot. Okay, that is in wedding you tie of the knot, so that kind. Apo. Now apo means away from or off. Okay, away from or off. Apostate, someone who stands away or basically remains away from faith. Okay, that is apostate. Next, apogee. Apogee is something that is the farthest point of Earth's revolution around the sun. Okay, this is the farthest point, not this one. So in Earth has a sort of like a oval orbit where the sun is located at sort of towards the one end. So whatever is the farthest point in the orbit will be apogee. Opposite of apogee is perigee. Why do we need to know this? Because there are some space-based passages, space science-based, or some space travel-related passages where these kind of words could make an appearance. Next, we go to arch. Arch means chief or first. Words would be archetype, archetype, archbishop, archaeology, archaeology, architecture. Okay, the first thing that you do when you decide to buy a, when you decide to build a building, right? That is architecture. You first go to the architect, try to understand what is the technology or what is the tactics that you have to implement. So architect. Next, bene. Bene means good or well. Okay, the words could be benign, benevolent, benevolence. Bene has a similar root, that is bon. Okay, bon also means good. So words from here could be bona fide, right? I told you fid is a word that we are going to discuss. So fid has to do with fidelity or loyalty. Okay, so fidelity is the act of being loyal to your partner. Okay, bona fide, good loyalty, or loyalty can be expressed to loyalty can be stretched to talk about truthfulness. So fid has to do with truthfulness as well. Okay, so that is bona fide. When we talk about kata, kata means down. So it could mean catastrophe, cataract. Cataract is basically waterfall, not the disease. Cataract, waterfall, something water falling down, right? Cataract, catapult. Okay, something that you pull down and then throw. Catacombs. Catacombs. These are basically underground jails. Okay, so basically in olden days we used to have these jails where people would be dumped, okay, and they would be kept there as punishment for various crimes, and those will be catacombs. Okay, if you see any old Latin or Greek or some you can say European areas, old era film, then you can see the mention of the word catacombs. Next word is circum. Circum means around, and when we say around, we mean to go around something. Okay, so this is, say, something that you are avoiding. Maybe you're driving and you're avoiding a tree, so you're circumnavigating. Okay, circumspect, another word, very important one, makes appearance quite often. Circumspect. Spect is another word root which means to see. Circum is around. So when you say circumspect, you're talking about seeing around or being observant. Okay. Then circumscribe. Scribe means to basically place some kind of limit. So circumscribe. Okay. So it means place a circle around something. For example, circumscribed triangles. Then there could be another words like circumlocution, locution, and circum. Okay, locution, LOC, means to talk. Okay, and talk or speak, and circumlocution means to speak in a roundabout way not directly. All right. Next, com, co, call, con, cor, with or together. Commerce, co-editor, collateral, convival. Very interesting word, convival. Viv means life. Con means together with. Al means having the quality of. So convival means something that has a lively quality. Okay, viv means life. Viva means life actually in Latin. So we have basically chosen viv out of it. And when we say convival, something that goes with life. Okay, something that is in tune with life. So something that is lively or making you feel happy. Okay, very shortly. Convival. Next, let's take a look at contra. Contra means against. Okay, contra or contro means against. So contravene to interfere against something, okay, or to conflict with. Controversy. Verse is what? Verse is whatever is being said, right? So verse means, in the terms of controversy, you can say that verse is whatever narrative has been built, and controversy means a narrative, something that goes against the narrative. That is why people are interested in it, because whatever is the narrative, controversy goes against it. That is why it makes news. Counterpoise, it means to set your weight against someone or to balance weights. Okay. Countermand, order against. Demand, 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 countermand. To ask for something against something else. Next, demi. D. Again, we have the option of D. D means down or away. Debase, decadence. Cad means fall. Okay. Decadence. Cad means to fall. Cad or cas means to fall. So when we say decadence, to fall down from somewhere. Okay. Decadence. Decant. Decant means to pour off. Decant, pour off. We're talking about D, right? Decadence, decant, and demolish, deter. Next, demi. Demi means partly or half. You can say demi, God is one of the examples. Demi is very similar to semi. Semisphere, also hemisphere, right? Demi, semi, hemi, they are very similar to each other. Next, di. Di means two, similar to bi. So, two, dichotomy, dilemma. These could be two very important words. Diagnosis. Okay. This will be from dia, sorry. Yeah. So dichotomy and dilemma. From bi, we can say bicycle, bisexual, bilinguistic, right? Ya fir bilingual. So there are several words from di and bi as well. Here, these are prefixes of multiples. This can be used as prefixes of multiples. Okay. So you have to make sure that you are sorted with this particular prefix or word. Let's take a look at the next one, dia. Dia means across. So diagonal. Okay. Diameter, diagram, diaphanous. Diaphanous means what? Diaphanous These are just some examples, guys. These lists are by no means exhaustive, but these are some words that you may expect to encounter. You definitely have to work more on these words. But let's see. Diaphanous, which can be seen through, right? It should be PHA, sorry. So something that you can see through. Okay, diaphanous. Diagram, outline, right? So on and so forth. Now let's talk about dis or diff, not apart. Okay, not or apart, not apart, not or apart. Discord, chord has to do with heart. Okay, chord ya card has to do with heart. So discord, differ, disparity, not having parity. Parity means what? Parity comes from Latin word pair. Pair means equal sizes. Okay, so pair means basically to cut in equal sizes. Equal sizes. So we're talking about equality. Okay, disparity, not having equality. Okay, you must have heard at par, yeah, parity. So these are the words which mean equality or being equal to or being similar to, or you can say in terms of quality, it's not at par with our expectations. So that is at par. Okay, next, dissolution, dissension, and diffident are some other words. Dis, dis basically means faulty or bad. Okay, faulty or bad. So any type of word that you attach this to will turn bad. For example, dysmorphia. When the shape is changed, morph means shape. Okay, so dysmorphia means what? A bad change in a shape in a bad manner. Okay, for example, if there are some you can say disabilities, then there could be dysmorphia in the parts which have disability as well. Dyslexia, dyspepsia, again dyspepsia, just a bit of general knowledge for you. Pep stands for stomach. Okay, in case somebody asks you which kind of acid you have, what is the acid in stomach called, it's peptic acid, because pep has to do with stomach. Okay, so it can even help you in GK if you allow it to. The approach to word roots, right? Then you can say dystrophy. Trophy means nerves. Okay, dystrophy means when your muscles are wasting away. Okay, nerves या muscles. तो ये कब होता है, कोई डिसीजेस होते हैं तो उसमें डिस्ट्रोफी होता है, मतलब आपकी मसल्स काम नहीं करते, दे जस्ट सिंपली स्टार्ट मेल्टिंग ऑफ और वेस्टिंग ऑफ. Another very famous word, dyslexia. Tarizami pe, right? What is the meaning of lex? Lex has to do with studying or writing. So when we say dyslexia, we are saying that it is difficult to write, or somebody finds it difficult to write, or somebody suffers from the inability to study. Dyslexia. Let's move on with the next word. It is N or M, which means in or within. Encaustic, burnt in or having the color fixed by heat, that is encaustic. Entropy, tropy is energy, entropy is when the energy is burnt within, right? Then you can say encapsulate. Cap has to do with capacity. Okay, cap or caps has to do with capacity. So encapsulate, to have within its capacity or within its you can say umbrella. ठीक है, तो encapsulate का मतलब क्या होता है कि अपने अंदर अगर कुछ समेट रहे हो. For example, challenges of India encapsulate what? If we look at the broad term challenges of India, it encapsulates poverty, unemployment, female feticide, gender disparity, so on and so forth. Okay, encapsulate, to have within. Epi, epi is to have upon. Okay, epitaph is one word. Epidermis can be another word. Epilogue, Yeah, epilogue. Okay, like dialogue. Epilogue is something that a book has upon it. Okay, for example, something like prologue. Prologue means what? Something that comes before the actual story has started. Epilogue means a small dialogue or a small monologue rather on what the book is about. So a monologue on the book, epilogue. Okay. Next, let's take a look at EU, which means well. Okay. Euphony. Phony means it is derived from phonos, which is sound. Euphony, which sounds well together. Euphoria. Phoria means sense of being. And if we are saying it is euphoria, it is feeling good. Sense of well-being. Dysphoria, sense of not being well. Okay. Eupeptic, as I told you, pep has to do with stomach. Eupeptic, something that allows you to have good digestion. Next is eugenics. Yes, this is very important. We're going to take a look at gen as the root word, but eugenics is the study of genetics in order to improve something. This used to be a very negative term because it was about racial purity once, but now it is not about racial purity. It's about improving your genetics. Okay, this has become a whole new study. A lot of times this is used in genetic engineering to modify crops and animals. So this is a field of study now, selecting better genes and making sure that whatever we are producing is capable of some certain features or has certain features that we desire. EU, right? Now X or E, out. Expel, extirpate. Extirpate is very interesting word. It means to root out. Okay, to root out. Eject, eject we can understand, to throw out something, right? Extend, exterior, these are other words, okay, from X or E. Extra or extro, extra or extro have to do with again exterior or outside, okay, beyond or outside. But here exterior will not be the word, though it is outside. Exterior will come from here, right? When we say exterior here, we have an opposite in interior. Okay, but opposite of extra will be under. Okay, so it's like under or over. So if something extra is over something, right? So opposite of extra is over. So in sense, not in actual word, the opposite of extra will be something that is under. Now, what are the words that we can think of when we talk about extra? Extracurricular, extraterritorial, extrovert, extrovert. So extracurricular, extraterritorial, meaning not belonging to your territory, outside your territory. Extrovert, someone who thinks in a manner that thoughts are projected outside. Extraterrestrial, extraterrestrial. This is also important. Okay. Now, what is terra? Terra means land. Okay. So extraterrestrial, somebody who's not from this land, from outside land. So basically, we are talking about aliens, space aliens, not country aliens. Okay. So these are all the words from A to F. Now let's take a look at how to read effectively for vocab building. Choose an interesting text, apply speed reading techniques. So basically, if you choose an interesting text, you'll be able to have more interest in reading it, and therefore you'll read for longer time, which is our intention. When you're applying speed reading techniques, you tend to understand automatically when it comes to different words. But if you're facing any obstacle, it means that you probably don't know the word. Okay, so that is what happens here. Now try to understand the contextual meaning of the obstacles that you're facing, right? Try to understand what these words mean or how they are implemented within the framework of whatever you are reading. This exercise is very important because no matter however much you study, there still will be some words that you'll just not know the meaning of, and these will make an appearance in your examination. So we have to make sure that we are having some contextual understanding as well. Only learning words is not going to help us do anything. Then check out the actual meaning. So when you face obstacle, try to find out contextual meaning and then try to find out the actual meaning of something. Okay, whatever the word you are encountering. This will help you with your memorization technique. Now there is no way that I can help you with memorization technique a lot, aside from the fact that I can give you some examples or some questions in the vocab session. Okay. Aside from that, there's no way I can help you a lot with the actual meanings. So all I want you to do is that when you come across a vocab based question, please make sure that you are in fact making a note of all the hard words. Okay, even if you got the answers right, even if you're able to take a good guess, every single question will be made of 5 words. Okay, so in a vocab class, if you're solving around 30 questions, you should at least get 100 to 120 words. Okay, if you don't have this, then the vocab class is a waste for you. Okay, just sitting in the vocab class is not going to give you anything. You have to make sure that you are actually doing something more productive with your time. So this is how we are going to approach a vocab class. Now let's take a look at some questions. Please take a look at these set of words, pause the video and try to think of an answer. Once you have all the answers, restart the video. You may pause the video now. Okay, so I'm now assuming that you have actually solved all the questions. Caliber means what? Now these are some words that I'm going to give you because I want you to have the memorization approach as well. So let's see. Caliber means ability. Okay. It is something similar to competence and capability. Competence means what? Your ability to actually compete with the world. Okay, basically not with someone, but if we say that somebody is very competent, it means that they are very good at what they do and they strive to be good at what they do. So caliber means ability to do something. Ineptness will be the word that we are looking for. It means not having the aptitude. Aptitude means ability or suitability for something. Okay, next. Chagrin. Chagrin means some kind of irritation, some kind of anger, some kind of a mixture of slightly angry, slightly irritated, slightly vexed kind of scenario. Now, please, those who have not taken a note, you have to mark the word that is opposite in meaning, okay? In case you are confused. So, chagrin means what? Some kind of negative word, okay? Spleen is just a body part. So, it's absolutely just given there to confuse you. Grumpiness is again a negative word. So, when you are trying to look for an antonym of a negative word, what happens? You're looking for a positive word or at least a neutral word, okay? But usually in case of antonyms, you'll see that positive and negative align together, okay? Neutral words do not really make an appearance per se. So if a word is positive and you're looking for its antonym, it's most likely going to be negative. So when we say chagrin, grumpiness and vexation are somewhat similar to it. Vexation means irritability with something or your in general dislike towards something, but with a slight tinge of irritation again. So answer is glee. Chagrin is anger or irritation. Glee is happiness. Of course, you're not going to be happy with something that irritates you, right? So that's the point. Magnanimous. Magnanimous means what? First of all, magna has to do with, or magni, just magni, has to do with grand or big, not in only terms of size, but in terms of character. Okay. So if somebody has big character, it means somebody who is known for something great, something socially looked upon with favor, something that is considered really good with respect to the social context. So when we say magnanimous, we mean something great, something huge. Okay. The opposite of it should be stingy. Why? Because stingy means people who are very miserly, or people who are very very concerned about small things. So when we say magnanimous, stingy can be its opposite, because affable is lovable. Affection, yeah, affection comes from AFF. So affable means something that can be loved. So it has some similarities in sense to magnanimous. Benevolent, benevolent is someone who's generous. Bene is good. So generous. Okay, benevolent is something who's generous or kind. So again, in sense, even if not in direct meaning, but in sense, it is positive and it is similar to magnanimous. Benign is a neutral word. Okay. Benign is what? Not harmful. So in that context, it might seem good, but benign basically means not harmful, but may not be particularly good also. So not harmful or harmless. So depending on the situation, you may find this quality an appealing one, but in general, it is a neutral word. So if you know, there are two types of tumors. One is benign and one is malignant. Malignant is the aggressive form, which is also known as cancer. So this is not good. And benign means a non-aggressive form. So basically, it's not going to harm. Okay. And therefore, benign may not be a good thing to have, but it is definitely a neutral thing to have. Okay. So when you read words, or when you see some words in some context, please try to understand whether they are used in some positive context or negative context. That's very important. Next, find the word that is similar in meaning to the word given in question. Circumspect. Circum, around, spect, see. Right. So please pause the video here. I have given you some clue. Please pause the video here and solve these two questions, and then we can take a look at the answers. I hope you have solved both the questions. Now, when we say circumspect, see around, okay, which means what? Observant. Okay, what is the difference between trustworthy and trusting? Please find out. Also truthful. What is the difference between truthful, trustworthy, and trusting? There are some differences that we must know. Just because the suffix has changed, the form of the word has changed. And a lot of times, this could lead to entirely different contexts. Okay. So trustworthy and trusting are on two ends of the same transaction, but please check out which one is which one. Ablution. Ablution basically means just to cleanse. Okay, so our regular bathing and whatever, these are all ablutions, cleansing activities. Okay, to purge means to remove impurities. And this is a very aggressive form of cleansing. Okay. When we see the word purge, it has a certain level of violence attached to it. It is very aggressive, and it may not be a positive term always. Okay, so it is most likely a negative term unless and until specifically used in a positive context. Okay, for example, the best example of purging could be the Holocaust, when a lot of Jews were killed by Hitler because he thought that they were impurities or they were impure people, right? Hitler had this racial superiority theory, racially superior, races are only the Aryan races with the blue eyes and the white skin and all that kind of stuff, Aryan races, right? So what he did, he killed everyone he thought were not pure, right, in his definition. So such kind of violent connotations are associated with the word purge. Okay. Now there are a lot of other words, but for this session we are going to stop here, and we are going to pick up from where we left here in the next session. So I hope that you have understood how we are going to approach the vocab sessions. From the next session, we will be taking up some more words, but we'll not be going in that much detail. I hope you understood how to segregate the word and how to understand the meaning and how exactly to use the word root. Okay, there'll be a quick revision in the next session before we move on with the concept and some questions. But please keep practicing and please try to find out different word roots of different words. Okay, unless and until we do that, we will not be having a really good approach towards vocabulary. So that's all from my end. I'll catch up with you in the next session. See you again. Bye-bye.